yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. No pain for there to see. Rage is like a wind, spread into the streets. It's time to make them bleed. 'Cause we just want retribution. Let's go light up the darkness. Make true of an empty promise. With gods in the weak and harmless. Take to the streets and turn them to a mosh pit. 'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make
All right, guys, let's get this party started. If you want a reading, be sure and visit my stand store. It is linked in the description below. And as always, we have a fair use, a disclaimer. As you come in, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and share the video if you like it. Let's get it going. Hey, Jill. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Astrology for Mystics. Welcome back. Didn't think I'd be on this soon, did you? I didn't either. Good morning. Almost afternoon here in Tennessee. Good morning, Angela, Jeff, Kim, Witchy Mama. We're on Witchy Mama's screen this morning. Deanna. Good morning, Kim. Morning, Lisa. Let's do this, man. Okay, so when I went live yesterday, as soon as I went live and I was reading the energy and I was talking about a school, a shooting, and I was reflecting on it, looking at it on the 17th, where I'm reflecting on it. So it just so happened to be at the same time that I went live yesterday, there was a mass shooting at the Brown University in Rhode Island. And of course, I've got the timestamp for it. And I want you guys to see why I say certain things about these energies, because this is how we learn astrology. This is how we learn astrology. A lot of times people will ask, what literature could I get that I could read that's going to help me understand more about astrology? There is a book, and it's called The Only Astrology Book You'll Ever Need. And it literally is the only astrology book you'll ever need. You don't have to get a bunch of astrology books. Just get that one if you wanted to read a book or use it for, reference or what have you. I do suggest getting a big whiteboard and intuiting energy on it with the wheel, with the 12 houses. I do recommend something like that. And also, the biggest way, I think the best way to learn astrology is to use timestamps for things that you can relate to. And because that's where the patterns are going to show up. Yes, there has been a lot. And remember when I said that Mars was critical? Mars had just went critical during this. So what I want to do is for those of you who aren't familiar with what's going on with Brown University, I want to just quickly listen to the update from an hour ago, and then I want to show you the map too, because I've got Brown University where they allegedly found this suspect who was all in black. Have no idea how they found him so quick, because the town was on lockdown until this morning. People were asked to not leave their house, lock the door, don't leave. As of this morning, the lockdown has released, but wait until y'all see this, okay? Wait until y'all see what I got to show you, because this is how we learn. This is how we truly learn astrology. Not by the book, not by what somebody else is regurgitating, but by literally using timestamps and then noticing those patterns. Okay, so let's get with this. This is from WCVB. Let me go ahead and add that banner to the stage. All right.
That is the Providence mayor. Let's listen to hear what he has to say.
Again, I'm Providence Mayor Brett Smiley. I'm joined with Governor McKee, who we will hear from in just a moment. We're also joined by Senator Jack Reed and Congressman Gabe Amo. And we will hear from Senator Jack Reed in a moment on behalf of Rhode Island's federal delegation, who've been in touch with us throughout this incident over the last day. Are
y'all able to hear it okay? Let me know. Just say yes or no. And I'm going to continue with the update. Just say yes or no. Glad to see you. Be careful. Be careful. Okay. Yes, ma'am. All right. Good deal. Here we go. Here we go.
As both the governor and I have said on multiple occasions, the amount of federal resources and cooperation that we've received is extraordinary. And that extends to our representatives here in Rhode Island. And then finally, Colonel Oscar Perez will give an update as well. At this time, we have no update to share on the investigation. It is ongoing. There's no reason to believe that we've hit any roadblocks. other than to say that we are doing what we know how to do in cooperation with our law enforcement partners to ensure that we adequately, thoroughly investigate the situation. And when we are ready to make a further announcement, we will do so. We know there's some information circulating, but we will not share any information that might compromise our investigation or future charges. So at this time, we have no official updates to share with respect to the investigation. Next, it's clear that our community is still in shock and hurting. And now that the initial phase of the investigation has made some progress, we're turning our attention to caring for our neighbors, both the Brown community, the broader Providence community, and truly all of Rhode Island. The City of Providence has stood up a website, the address of which is providenceri.gov/community response resources. There you can find a long list of community resources for mental health care, what to do in the event of trauma, how to help talk about events like this with your kids, to try to help families, neighbors, community members start to understand how to process that which has been so difficult for us. Finally, the Providence City Council, who've been excellent partners, and again, we're joined by leaders from the City Council, including the councilman for this area, Councilman John Gonsalves, is inviting the Providence community and really anyone who'd like to join us tonight at 5 p.m. at Lippett Park, where there had been a previous plan to light a Christmas tree and to light a menorah for the first night of Hanukkah. And for those who know at least a little bit of the Hanukkah story, it is quite clear that if we can come together as a community and shine a little bit of light tonight, I think there's nothing better that we could be doing as a community. And so please know you're all invited to Lippett Park tonight at 5 o'clock. Lippett Park is at 1008 Hope Street, and all are welcome. Certainly Providence Police and other folks will be on hand to make sure that we are all can be in community without any concerns tonight. I'd like to note that Family Services is here with us today, Margaret Holland McDuff. She is one of those community resources that has become available. I'd like to also acknowledge that United Way of Rhode Island and their 211 system has been helping, and leaders from the Nonviolence Institute have been assisting with families in the hospitals. Additionally, Treasurer James Diosa and his Victim Compensation Fund has already been in touch to ensure that his office is doing everything that they can. Before I turn it over to the governor, I'll just share that a couple hours ago, I was at the hospital. I know President Paxton has been several times, but I had a chance to meet with a few of the victims and their families. And while they are receiving excellent medical care, and I want to thank the professionals at Brown Health and Rhode Island Hospital, the professionalism, these folks, just like our law enforcement professionals, have been up all night working, but the level of care and professionalism that they are exhibiting is extraordinary. These survivors are receiving excellent care. And the resilience that these survivors showed and shared with me is frankly pretty overwhelming. It pales in comparison what they've gone through for the rest of us here. We're all saddened and scared and tired, but what they've been through is something entirely different. And yet they showed courage and hope and gratitude for how this community has stood up for them and how the healthcare providers cared for them. A couple of the family members who I had a chance to speak with are so grateful for what they've seen and heard of the outpouring of support from this community. And so I want to relay that to all of you, that they're watching what's happening also, and their healing is improved based upon all of the positivity and love and care that they've seen from not just the Rhode Island community, but frankly, the national community. And so thank you. Governor McKee has been an incredible partner through all of this. And I'm grateful for his leadership and the compassion that he's shown and the relentless focus he's had on those individuals who are recovering in the hospital right now. And I'd like to invite the governor to say a few words.
So today, Brown students
they're not going to give us any information. They're not going to give us any. I just wanted you to see that there are 2 unalived, 9 are injured, and the person of interest taken into custody at Hampton Inn in Coventry. They talked about Lippet Park. That'll be going on tonight. So we've got Lippet Park on the map. We've got Brown University on the map. And we have the Hampton Inn in Coventry on the map. So we're going to look at this. Okay, we're going to look at this to see how it's adding up on the map so you guys can see the work. And so, yeah, Rhode Island. Yeah, Rhode Island. So we are going to first look at, I'd like to show you the astrology first, and then we're going to look at the map. Sound good to you guys? Sound good? All right. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Share the entire screen. Hold on, let me take this banner off. Let me share the entire screen. So I want you guys to see this. I think you're going to like it. I mean, you're not going to like, the fact that that's what's happening, that we have to look at it that way. Okay, here's the full screen. Like that. Okay, so the Brown University yesterday, and what I want to show you guys is this took place at 4 o'clock. So it's 5 o'clock Nashville time. So right after I get on live, right after I get on live and I start talking, I see it. I see it happen. We see it happen. If you could even go back and look, you can see it happen when Mars over here during this period of time, Mars is at a 2854 in Sag. Mars is about to hit that 29 degree. And remember, I said last night and today would be combusted. It's gonna be fiery. There could be a shooting. It could be having something to do with religion. I mean, because the Sag energy could be about a college. The Sag energy could be about things that we're learning, but it's very fiery. Okay. So what is happening during this event? Let's look at it from the ascendant. So it begins, and it would appear that we are looking for 2, but there are 2 that are unalived. We are descending on campus because that could be college. This, in the 3rd house, we can look at this as childhood friends. In the 9th house, we could look at this as college, grandparents, philosophy. It's a higher learning. It's a mental exploration, but that Sag energy is fire. Mars being at a critical degree is fiery. So last night and today, Mars is at a critical degree in Sag. So we would expect that as an astrologer, when you see that critical degree, it's going to be, especially with Mars, it's a fiery energy anyway, right? So the first thing that I noticed was that it rose at a 19 and descends at a 19 in Sag. And so I looked to Rhode Island's chart to see where that 19 Sag is, because we are descending. And there it is. It is the 6th house of health with Zeus. And how many times do I say that, I've seen it in death astrology. I've seen Zeus, because that's the magnetic field. That's the aura. Zeus, magnetic field. That's what you think about. Zeus, magnetic field. Magnetic field of the earth. Magnetic field of the human being. Magnetic field of the scene, of the health that is happening at that moment with Rhode Island. So all of this Sag energy right here with Mars, all of this Sagittarius energy minus Mercury, all of this Sag energy minus Mercury. So we have Venus, we have the Sun, we have Juno, which is the relationship. There's a relationship that's bringing a conscious raising experience to this situation in Rhode Island. God's will is being done with Vulcan. There's information coming in, and we have Mars at a 28. So all of that is right here in the 6th house of health. All of that is in the 6th house of health, but Mercury is still at a 226 in Sag. So because of that, Mercury is here. Mercury is in the 5th house of kids, creativity, school. And it's a higher learning school, okay? It's a higher learning school. This is about college, philosophy, religion, beliefs. We see that the midheaven is a 25-24 in Pisces. So Saturn at a 25-22 in Pisces is sitting here in the 9th house with groups, college. Okay. The lunar nodes of fate are a 16-24, and that's exactly where Venus is about to make contact with those lunar nodes. Going to make contact with those lunar nodes. So we are looking at Saturn sitting here. Saturn is making its way to the midheaven, and it's opposing health. It's opposing health. It's opposing home. It's opposing justice, parks, government property. And we are looking at Saturn was at a 25-22, but Saturn is going to make contact with Pallas first. That's the investigator, right? Pallas. It's an investigator. The investigation is having limits and obstacles. Limits and obstacles. And we haven't made it to the hotel just yet because that's Saturn. Saturn is a business. Saturn is a hotel. We haven't made it there just yet, but there is a limits and obstacles. Lots of hard work that is going to the public image of Rhode Island. The public image of Rhode Island. Are you following me? Because there's limits and obstacles with their investigation, limits and obstacles with the way that Rhode Island, their public image is right now, especially with the hospitals, prisons and hospitals. That's this Piscean energy. Prisons and hospitals. Businesses, right there. Authority, right there. The unaliving, the acceptance that we have to assume. The moon at a 1438 in Libra during this event. That moon is transiting, had just transit, made contact with the Mars in the 8th house of death, rebirth, regeneration with groups. Right? That Libra energy with Rhode Island is right here. So the moon is in transit in the 4th house of home. We are reflecting on things that have happened. And again, I'm seeing a lot of government entities, political. But one of the main energies that was taking place besides Saturn, besides Pallas, and, Saturn coming to that degree, is this right here. This dark moon at a 29-13 in Scorpio in the 6th house of health is the same exact degree as the 5th house of creativity and kids in school. Right here, this 2913 Vesta, the flame of life. The flame of life went dark because the flame of life is also a 2913 in Scorpio. So critical dark moon. We were talking about that last night, right? We were talking about that last night. So as we are going into the next few days, this critical dark moon is, we are going to be reflecting on the flame of life with this incident all day today, because it wasn't long. It wasn't long because we were watching it. When I pulled up the transits yesterday, we were watching that Mars go from a 2859 to a 2900. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We were witnessing it as we were looking at it. Very intense with Mars. Very intense. So this 2913 Vesta, yeah, very intense. 2913 with the dark moon. The ascendant is over here at a 19. This is about the past. It's about communications, prisons, and hospitals. So when the dark moon transited last night to that 2915, there was an announcement about the two unalivings. Hospital, coroner. That's what that 12th house is representing. And that's exactly where this event was rising and this event was descending here. Interesting, isn't it? It's very interesting, especially when we see that Venus was hitting the lunar nodes as well at the same time. 3rd house of communications, right? The 9th house up here, that's the college where they've been here before. They've been here before. So right now, let's look at the transits right now with Rhode Island. And we're going to see where they are right today, right now, what's happening. Because I'm not so sure that this is a end all be all. I don't know. I don't know. They found this person was wearing all black. Then this morning they picked somebody up at the hotel. And it makes you wonder, where is this person from? Where is this person from? And when we find all that information out, we're definitely going to come back because I've already got ideas of where they could be from. All right, so let's look at this. We now have the dark moon. The dark moon is now still at a critical 2919. Still critical. Mars, of course, is still critical. And what we're seeing right now is a lot of energy going to California. Lots of energy going to California right now. We see that the midheaven is a 2524 in Sag. The lowest point is a 2524 in Gemini. And that's the midheaven. That's the midheaven. Exactly when I pull this chart up to look. For some reason, we are having a low point with the 2. We're having a low point with communications, with any type of ring camera video. And we could be looking at 2. Not just 2 unalive, but 2 people. There could be problems with who they have in custody. Saturn is sitting there now. Now Saturn is sitting here. There's problems, there's limits and obstacles There's limits and obstacles with Rhode Island. And I think that we're going to have to see how this is all going to play itself out. I'm not sure that they have the right person. So what I'm seeing right now is that we have things going on in California. There's a justice that would appear in, I want to say Ohio, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm drawing, I saw that energy last night. That could be, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. And then there's a wait here at home with Virginia. So let's look at Virginia and California right now. Let's see what's going on in Virginia and California, and then we're going to come back to this. Virginia, something about home. It's just a weight. It shouldn't be too heavy with overnight snow. Winning numbers drawn in Saturday's Virginia pick. No, there's a weight. It could be all of that snow. Second snow of December. Maryland, Virginia. Yeah, it could be the snow. But there's a huge weight of home. I don't know. It could be the snow. Maybe we just haven't seen it yet because it's just beginning. It's just beginning. Okay, so the California with Mars right now, definitely fiery, right? Definitely fiery. That's it. That's it. Thousands are urged to stay inside in California. There is a fire going on, it looks like. So that's it. That's it, guys. And it's only intensifying at this moment. At this moment, we're seeing it intensify. That's why, okay, yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay. So we see that right now in the transits, don't we? Sure do. Sure do. Okay. Now let's look at the map. Let's look at the map. So what we have here is we have the college. We have the college. That's where I'm beginning the lines. Here is the Rhode Island Hospital. It is a 21 Libra. I didn't draw that line. So 21 Libra is the hospital. Oh, Shauna, I was reading you earlier. So the hospital, let's go back, is a 21 Libra. Let's look at Rhode Island. Rhode Island will be on the left. Shooting's on the right. So the Libra energy with the hospital is a 21 Libra. There is the magnetism with the 26. The moon is right there at a 14, but there's no exact 21 Libra. But there is right here. There's a 22 Libra in the fourth house that 25, 24 Saturn is opposing. It's opposing the health, the lowest point, and there is the hospital right there. There's a breakup. There's a breakup with law enforcement. So the law enforcement is at the hospital. They're having to go to the hospital and talk to these people. So that's the hospital. Right there between at the 2220, the 26, that's where the magnetism with the law would be coming down to. And of course, that person, whoever it is, or the lead investigator could also have that as well. We have the Lippert Memorial Park. And that is a 16 Aries. That's where they're going to have the memorial tonight. It's a 16 Aries. So that 16 Aries is going to be somewhere between the Saturn and the palace. during the event, the 16 Aries would be between the mark, the fortune that they call it, and Chiron. So those two, it would be right there in the 11th house of groups. 16 Aries. But let's look at where he was found. He was found allegedly at Hampton Inn in Coventry, Rhode Island. So 21 miles. It's a 2 Scorpio. 212 compass bearing, that's a 2 Scorpio. And so Rhode Island, where it would hit Rhode Island's chart, is right here. And that's the 5th outer wheel of kids and creativity. And so I would draw that one and that one. This would be the opposition in Taurus. So that's it. Where he was found is found right here on the 5th house of kids outer wheel of Rhode Island. This is why it's important when we are mapping to map that outer wheel too, because you just never know. Just never know. These were making contact, right? The dark moon was making contact here with the flame of life. And so that would have been further up. That would have been, if I would have drawn that and said, okay, that's where that person's going to be found. That would be right here. On this line, the 29 dark moon that was making contact. It's going to be at a 239 compass bearing. And I would be looking for that person to see and make sure that they didn't go into Connecticut. They didn't go into Connecticut because for some reason, this dude goes and unalives all and then comes just 20 miles down and, hanging out at a hotel. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Makes no sense to me at all. At all. This does make sense, but this is with the investigation, and I just don't know that they got the right person here. So we can see that Massachusetts, this Providence right here, this person could have went to Massachusetts. This person could have went to Connecticut. Why didn't they? Why didn't they quickly get out of the state? They could have easily, quickly. I mean, 7 miles, you're in Massachusetts. 30 miles and you're out in Rhode Island. Out of Rhode Island into Connecticut. It makes no sense. Makes no sense to me. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be looking at Massachusetts and Connecticut to see if that missing event or the unaliving event, rather, because we can use this when we're looking for fugitives. It just so happens to be at their 5th house outer wheel, the way that they create with the investigation. So, they could be that damn good. Could be that good. The flame of life is definitely dark with the investigation. So, Massachusetts, the Venus at a 1623 during this shooting is coming to the Saturn of Massachusetts. Venus, if I remember correctly, let me look at it. I'm going to pull up Massachusetts and Connecticut. I'm going to pull it up. Massachusetts, Connecticut. What's going on, Jeff? I see y'all talking about some. Hold on, let me see. I'm back. Had a phone call from mom. Her water main pipe exploded 1,000 foot down the driveway. Well, there you go, Shauna. There's that reading, girl. Remember, I asked you to read me, so there it is. Okay, so we have the shooting, and let's look at, I want to tell you about Massachusetts. I want to see if I remember that correctly. No, it's a 1256. Okay. It's not a 1635. I know that there's one that's got the 1635, but I don't remember which one. Okay, so Massachusetts is not it, but let's look at it. The breakup with 1352, that's coming in January, or maybe it's coming soon. Okay. Okay, hold on. So the dark moon goes from 2913 to 2914. That's in Massachusetts because it is so close. So it would make sense why that dark moon went from the 2913 to the 2914. That would make sense because it's about the groups, it's about the law, and they may have been on lockdown too. They probably were on lockdown. Interesting. Interesting. Let me see what else. You'll be listening while doing laundry. Thank you. Let's see this right here. All those 24s, 2422, 2420, 25, and 28. Okay, let's look at Connecticut because that's where the other one is. Maybe it is. Maybe they do have the right person. This definitely should have affected Connecticut too, because Connecticut's right there, y'all. What's up, Army vet? What's happening? So hold on just a second. I'm seeing something else. Y'all, don't make me. I've looked at this before and it freaks me out every time I look at Connecticut's chart because I think about Sebastian. I think about Sebastian here in a big way. Okay. '24. Well, I can see it coming. I can see the event coming, and then Saturn is going to be making contact with Connecticut. This is definitely a secret service. Lots of weight in that Gemini. God, I've seen that too. Hold on. I definitely have. Because they have a relationship here in the fourth house of home. And that relationship has just taken place. Saturn is coming here. I mean, Venus is making her way to contact. So maybe it is. Maybe it is. See, this divine justice is coming with groups, with health in the future, and it does. This 2416, once it hits that 2420. Interesting. Now I've got to look at Sebastian's map with Connecticut one more time because, wow. Let me see if his dad connects here. Let me look at Connecticut with Sebastian real quick. Rhode Island. Huh. How are y'all doing today? Let's look at Sebastian real quick. Good guy. Lord. Okay. Rhode Island, Connecticut. Okay, so we got Connecticut. It's right here. I looked at this last night. God dang it. I just don't see it. But there is a connection, a big connection. But it would be with the FBI. It would be with the FBI. Let's see. Where's the FBI? Ah, hold on. Should be with the FBI. Let's look at. There's Rhode Island. That's where it took place. And then we've got Connecticut here. I've got a lot of that would be information and leads come in right here. Connecticut. You look at the other map. I don't even think I've got the FBI going there yet. Major connections with Sebastian in Connecticut. With Katie and the FBI. Okay, here we go. Ugh. There it is right through there. Yale University, Newport Academy, Residential, Bethlehem, Connecticut. Cleveland Clinic Center for Rare Disease, that's in Massachusetts. Harvard University. So we have Massachusetts. There's the Providence area. This is, let me see if I've got the FBI yet. I've got 3. Let me see what that is. That's a 59. That's a 29. During the missing event, it was critical in the 9th house, a higher learning, letting go with higher learning resources and communications. There's a breakup here. Well, and we got Tennessee is descending with relationships with 2 people. So we go from let me look at the FBI. Let's see if they connect to Sebastian. That would have been leaving from the roadhouse, not his house. That would have been from the road. Yeah, from leaving from the roadhouse, not ever making it home. Just so you know. That's, let's see, what? So we do have leads coming in. We got the 8th house, 23, the 19. 19 and 23. That's where it's going to put us right there. So it's this energy with the 7th house of relationships going up into the 8th house. That's a 5 Gemini. So the FBI would be right here. They would be, excuse me, they would get leads in at that 19, touches their body, the outer wheel. Kathy connects here to this vertex, the intensity. And Hygeia, that 1710, that's coming. Yeah, so look. Venus is already opposed. Yeah, Venus has already opposed the FBI. And let's look at that, because this unaliving is, something's not right here. Something ain't right with their investigation. It don't look like it to me. So let's look at the FBI with these transits right now, because we know that the FBI is working on that investigation. There's a lot of connections with Sebastian, his family, and Connecticut. Story is, okay. See the health factor here? This is in Gemini. It's what is hidden, and that's about the things that are hidden that the FBI isn't seeing when it comes to possibly the firearm. There's 2 people. There's 2 people. They've only arrested 1, but there's 2 involved here. And then we're going to learn, the FBI is going to learn something about, and it could be 2 more people pass away. It could be that 2 more people are going to pass away. That's what they're going to learn. Interesting. 1939. Look at that. Look at that. Guys, did y'all just see that? Let me show you. Let me just show you. During this period of time, look who it hits, the FBI. Man, guys, look at this. We're rising at a 1939. We are descending at a 1939. And this is where the FBI is learning something. It hits their public image and they get on it. As soon as it begins, we are looking at the FBI expanding. There's the Jupiter. That's the college. There's the public attention and kids. There we are. It's rising with the FBI. I mean, so yeah, don't equate person of interest with guilt. It signals investigation focus, not a legal determination of guilt or responsibility. And then they even tell us that they pick him up and tell us what hotel that he was picked up at. I think that investigator was saying that he wants to make sure that he keeps that investigation, have some integrity with it. But you've done told us too much, man. This event is rising with the FBI. So you could say, well, is the FBI involved? I don't think so. But I don't know, because it's rising with them. At the exact moment that they say that this took place, there's the FBI. It's rising with their Jupiter. Well, that's their law enforcement. And it's hitting their public image. They need to be looking good right now. Connecticut gets a shakeup with the FBI 2542. So that shakeup that the FBI rises with, that 2542, that's Connecticut. Look at that. 2542. There's going to be a shakeup with health, with groups in Connecticut. So we're going to see something happen. Then I don't know. But that's a trip. That's a trip, man. That I can see that there is a FBI. What you doing? What's going on? What's going on? Because these values, that 521 that I was just seeing with the FBI, let's go back to Rhode Island. That 521, look at that. It's the values with attention, the values with groups, video, things that are hidden with the investigation, other people's money, that 521. Now let's look back at the FBI. Here's the FBI's 521. There's the Venus. There's the Venus. There's going to be two. I think that there's two people. I think they could possibly have the wrong person. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I know that Mercury is on its way to oppose me in my ascendant, so it's okay about the two people, about the communications. But it does beg the question. It really does, for me anyway. It does beg the question, man. Huh. Very senseless. Very senseless. And I do wonder about different agencies' involvement. I don't trust our government. I don't trust these agencies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that person of interest is not. I wish that they wouldn't have. I mean, I understand that they want to calm the community. I just don't trust what I'm seeing. I don't trust this. I don't trust it at all. Hmm. The 25 the 25 degrees that they have in their chart, Saturn is going to be making contact. Any 25 degrees that you have in your chart, Saturn will be making contact. Now, if it sits in the same sign of Pisces, that's one thing. It's going to be intense with the restrictions, with the work and what have you. But if it's just making contact with one of your degrees, it's not as serious. It's not as intense. It doesn't feel as intense. But these 25 degrees that they have in their chart, we have to take note, because at first, this 25, 22, 25, 28 that we're seeing, it's already made contact with the Pluto that's hidden with 2. I don't trust this. We have Selena at a 1659, and she's going to teach the FBI, and they're going to come in with a lot of energy at a 17 degree. She makes that 17 pretty quickly. And they're going to be learning something, and they're going to be putting forth a lot of energy. They're going to the hospital, it looks like, because that's the 12th house. They're going to question people at the hospital. Interesting. Yeah, they'll definitely just tell us what they want us to know. But I don't trust it. I'm not trusting this at all. It ain't adding up. And all of this energy that they have with Cancer, well, there's a justice and there's a flame of life here that's in their third house of communications. Hmm. They're definitely connected to Rhode Island with money, with values, colleges, and that 2532 is definitely showing me too. So if we hear about more than 2 people passing away, we know that there's 2. We know that there's 2. There's 2 people. The investigator is also the investigator palace is in the 4th house, shaking things up with groups, with the FBI, opposing their public image. Pluto is sitting here. Pluto is sitting here in their 4th house, opposing their sun and how they shine. Groups, video, networking, us, astrology. That 1518 that I just saw, that is their Neptune. Okay, let's go back because I just saw that 1518. It's their Neptune in Cancer. The 1518 in Cancer. Where's Rhode Island? Where did I see that? I saw that somewhere. Where did I see that at? Right now. Right now. Right now. The public is opposing their Neptune. The public is opposing their Neptune. And that is us. That's me right now. There's a justice. That 1518. Yep. Let's look at it right now. Let's look at the transits with them right now. We own you. We own you, FBI. Keep getting into my scribble maps. Make me learn something. So this 1518, their Neptune, here in the 9th house, higher learning, judges, quick movement. That 1518 is being opposed. Because Capricorn, the divine justice with Astria and that flame of life is sitting here with the communications. And it's opposing. There's going to be a relationship come here. Look, the relationship is only at a 2439. It's coming to that 2440. That's with Secret Service. 2440 is Secret Service. There's going to be a lot of warring with the Secret Service. Pretty sure I will be pulling them up too because it looks like we need to. Definitely looks like we need to because look, Mars is critical. Mars is critical in their communications, the movement, the quick movement of the pew pew and all of that, and going far, going somewhere with having to do with a campus, with a college. The moon is about to come over their ascendant. So the moon at a 2512 is about to make it to that 2542. Could be, another incident that's going to happen that's not good for the FBI. Could be another incident, guys, that's about to happen. Lord, could be something else. Because see, look, Saturn Saturn is still on the midheaven. There's a lot of work to do. Saturn is still on the midheaven. And that makes me feel like that there could be one more, at least one more, that's going to pass away. Anybody that's in a critical condition, and I hate to say that, but that's what I'm seeing here. That's what I'm seeing. And just so y'all know, when it comes to these cases in Tennessee with TBI, the information that the TBI receives from the FBI, or the information that the FBI receives from the TBI, they don't work well together. I'm just telling you. They don't, because their Saturn, the TBI Saturn's a 2235. So they don't share information well, just saying. I can see that. But going to be a lot of energy. There's a lot of energy going to Kathy Bowersox right now. And she knows where he's at. And I think that that's why we had an opposition with groups with Sebastian yesterday at that time, making me wonder here, making me wonder, is he in Connecticut? Is he in Rhode Island? Where's he at, Kathy? You know where he's at. You know where he's at, girl. We're about to look at Secret Service because I'm thinking, I think we got some problems right now. Let's look at the Secret Service. Let's look at the Secret Service right now. And I'm going to look at the Secret Service also with that other, because something ain't right here. Look, the wisdom right now, the wisdom holder is a 1654. In a few days, that wisdom holder is going to magnetize to the Secret Service with their public image. And again, this is about communications. And I'm wondering if there's two people or two agencies. Or two agencies. The dark moon at a 2919, the dark moon has already made contact with the flame of life here with their values regarding health, money, resources. Let's see. What else we got here? Yeah. So Connecticut has a 0021 that connects with Sebastian. And that 0021 is where there's a letting go here. But what are you really letting go of, Secret Service? Because I think that person, uh. 23, 24, 21. Let's see. There's going to be something that the Secret Service learns, going to shake them up with the investigation. It's in Taurus. So we're going to find something, or we're going to plant something in the woods. Got to be kidding me. Is that the evidence that they're going to learn? They're going to find some evidence? Because it's coming. See, Selena is a 1706 here in the 5th house. And she's coming here, going to shake things up, going to make contact with their public image and evidence, money trail, evidence, devices, something like that. What? Yeah, the person is detained and they're not telling us the name. They're not telling us the name. Let's look at this event when it happens with them. Because like I said, there's going to be a relationship. And I think what we're going to see is somebody else passing away. I think that they don't want to tell us the name because they don't want the public to run with it and start pulling up all kinds of information about them and then doing our own investigation and calling the police and the Secret Service and the FBI out for their lack of wisdom. That's what I think. But hey, I don't know. I don't know. Something's up though. Something's I can see it happening like right now. There's going to be a relationship with their Chronos. And this could have something to do with somewhere else in the world. Who knows, man? See what I'm not looking at, because this devouring energy in the 8th house of death, other people's money, things that are hidden with the investigation, that 2440 is about to come into contact with them with a lot of warring with the Secret Service, lots of warring with them. Lots of warring. And so when I tell you guys about the Secret Service, a lot of times I'm connecting to that 1311. But yeah, so there's a relationship. Boom. Going to make contact. Boom. All that Sag energy, all this Sag energy is right here in their 4th and 5th. So it's about home. It's about the way that they are creating with their responsibility, with their work. And the information that is going to be coming into them is going to hit their ascendant. So Chiron is at a 2245. It's coming down to the 2244. Yeah, not good. Not good. Because if the Secret Service is in on trying to help with this investigation, I think what we may hear is that somebody else passes away, maybe more than one. And like I said, if that happens, I want to look for 2 people. I want to look for 2. Or these 2 agencies. I want to look to these 2 agencies, right? I mean, I could look at the Homeland Security and see if that's coming in too, and see if they're getting away. If they're, I don't think so, but God dang, man. Interesting. Something ain't right. Let's look at the Secret Service. Let me just Google it and see what the hell it says. Oh, God. That's giving me anxiety just looking at that. News. Let's see if there's something else going on. 4 days, 4 days. No. Local law enforcement coordinates security for Army Navy football game. When's that? When is that? When is that? Baltimore. When is that, guys? Is that today? Or is that yesterday? It was yesterday. It was 5 days. Oh, Raleigh man. Okay, Virginia is sentenced. That was 5 days ago, though. Why is it just now becoming a wait today? That don't make no sense. Something else is going to happen today. Something else. Trump was there. Ah, Mm, interesting. Interesting. Okay, so where was that at? Can y'all give me like what stadium? Let me put that on the map on the Rhode Island because that could be Army Navy football game. Army Navy football game 2025 location. Baltimore. Is it Baltimore Stadium? In Baltimore. Interesting. Oh my gosh. Held in Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium. There it is. There it is. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. Let's map that one. Let's look at Maryland. See what's up. Well, well, well. Ain't that something? Because that's the critical that was the critical. Let me see. I drew it. But that's it. Hold on. If we drew that, watch this. It's a 239 compass bearing. That's right there. That's it. There's the dark moon, guys. The dark moon hitting the flame of life is going there. So during this period of time, when this went down, let's look at Maryland. When this shooting took place. Wow. Because this dude, yeah, something ain't right, y'all. Okay, yes, I remember seeing this because look, there is a lot of wisdom about two people, about the communications, that 2327. There is the connection with Jupiter. I've been looking for that with this incident, and there it is. There it is. The wake up call for the future was coming to Maryland in groups. Oh, yeah. So it definitely, even though it happened far away from Rhode Island, this game, that's where the dark moon is going to. That's where I would have been looking on that line. But, and look at that, the dark moon is going to be coming to this same degree at a 2958. We need to remember this. We need to write this down, guys, because it's going to oppose Maryland. The dark moon is going to be in a direct opposition. It's not going to sit on their own dark moon. It's going to oppose it. Interesting, 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 because the lunar nodes of fate have just left their Selena, things about the warring of the past. Oh my gosh. Mercury was at that 226, and that physician here, Apollo, in that 12th house. Man, I wouldn't put it past these people. They're crazy. And when I say these people, they're crazy, I'm talking about our own government. Our own government. Chiron had just left the 2247 up here in that 11th house during the shooting, had just left the groups, had just left. A little shaky shake. I don't like this at all. The moon is going to come here. They're going to reflect with intensity in Maryland. Lunar nodes right now are upon them the divine justice. There's a justice with the fate with them. That's where the dark moon is going. That's where that dark moon is going to that stadium. 2915. Let's write this down. Let me make sure I'm not feel like I'm looking too fast here. We want to see this. We want to see what day that's going to be, but there's an expansion with wisdom and communications to people. I'm not digging this at all. $24.04. $29.58. Let's look at that. $29.58. We're going to get this dark moon right here at a 29.46. We're looking for her to come to that direct opposition with a 29.58. And that's going to be on the 20th. It's a Saturday, so we've got about 6 days. 6 days, guys. 29.58. Let's go hours. Well, it's going to stay at that degree for quite a while. It's in their first house, so it's going to be opposing their first house. And it's going to be in their relationships. The relationships. Yeah, this ain't right. Something ain't right here. There we are. And it's about the past. It's about the past. Right there. About the past. It looks like for me, it's going to be about ice. It's going to be about immigration. So on December 20th, let's look at this. On December 20th, the dark moon starts out in the 12th house. About things of the past for me. Even though that 29 degree is here with their relationships. And it's opposing that dark moon, that disordered aggression has to do with money, resources, a lot of disordered aggression with other people's money, And the reason why I'm thinking that it could be about immigration or ICE, it could be about a federal building, is because the moon is reflecting Mars. Moon could be reflecting movement with a building, this could be about, definitely could be about ICE, or there could be things going on in Maryland with immigration, with ICE. Let me see if I've got them. There's a lot of warring at home with the Secret Service. You can see that the IC at this time is at 336, the MC is at 336, and that's exactly where the moon is at. The warring with the government, the immigration. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 1246. And then this is actually, then the lunar nodes on this day, on the 20th, those lunar nodes are going to come to Utah. They're going to come to Utah. So we're looking at Maryland and Utah both on that day with Secret Service and ICE. I definitely see that. Definitely. Where's the Secret Service again? $16.57. Yeah. Yeah. So the day before on the 19th, that's when there's a lot of wisdom with the Secret Service. And then on the 20th, that lets off. I'm pretty sure that's going to be ICE, Maryland, ICE, Maryland. Let's see. Immigration. Immigration. Immigration and Customs. What else do I have? U.S. citizenship and okay, no. Okay. This is it. Maybe. Let's look. Maryland. No. Immigration, December 20th. Their lunar nodes, the reason why I'm wondering about this Mars is because their lunar nodes of fate are 353. Well, if that's the case, the dark moon is definitely going to be coming here. Going to have a lot of disordered aggression with groups, future, business, who knows? They got an 852. 26. I don't know. It may not be them. It may not have to do with that. It may not have anything to do with that. I do see the lunar nodes are coming down. So we got Maryland, the opposition with Maryland, and we've got Utah coming into transit here with the lunar nodes. I don't know, guys, but I wanted to show you that. 22. There's something else here. because Venus is going to oppose the Secret Service on this day. Venus will oppose the Secret Service. I wonder where Trump is supposed to be. 22. No. You're trying to upgrade your website? Well, thanks for listening, honey. Let's look at Utah for a minute. Let's see if that's it. With Maryland. Maryland and Utah. What would be that connection, if any? See how the lunar nodes at a 1246, they're coming down to that ascendant. There's going to be some fate with that ascendant. We learn. Are they going to be out of Utah? There's a shakeup. There's a shakeup at home with groups, and there's a reigniting of a flame. Mercury is here. Actually, Mercury is here, about to hit the ascendant. A shakeup in Utah. And there's, that's an Aries energy, so I don't like that. And this is a station with groups. God, something about Maryland and Utah. We got a network. That's what it's feeling like to me. There's some type of network. Some type of network here. Because Selena, yeah, she was at a 17, and then she goes that 1701 that she shares with Utah. And that's where they have a lot of, it's that campus, colleges. Mm-mm-mm. And we've got this 455, this energy with this 455 that's given a lot of energy to the home front. And there's a lot of transformation too here. So are we going to a college campus? Maryland or Utah? Both? Is that person from one of them places? Oh, man. 17. There's Connecticut. Let's go back to Connecticut. Nope, it's not Connecticut. Massachusetts. 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 Massachusetts is connected to Connecticut. Massachusetts. No, I mean, Massachusetts is connected to Utah. Massachusetts and Utah. Massachusetts is also connected to Virginia. I think that I'm looking at a network. That's what I think. I think I'm looking at a freaking network, man. A network. But it would be a political network. It's a political network. You know, where they blame it on ICE and terrorists and all that when they're really the ones that are the terrorists. You know what I mean? They're really the ones that are like terrorizing our own nation. Our own nation. No doubt about it. Yep. Whatever he learns, whatever Donald Trump learns, is going to shake him up. It's going to shake him up. Uh. Is this to deflect? Is this to deflect? Maybe so. Maybe so, because there's a justice, that 1634 that was in transit yesterday, all day yesterday. Let's look at that with him. Dude, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. A lot of distraction. Don't look here. Don't look at, me and, hanging out here. Look at me here. Look over here. Look at this. Look at that. Don't look over here. That's what I see. So right now, the dark moon, let's look at it again. Right now, the dark moon is at a 2919. 2919. So the dark moon has already went over and made contact about the unaliver, the communications that are going into the groups. But look, there is a divine justice in the second house of values, has to do with health. That 1634 is where there was a devouring energy yesterday. And of course, you could say, well, it's because he went to the game, had to do with the Secret Service, and that's more than likely true because the 2916 hit them and then it hit Donald Trump. Okay, so, but it didn't hit him until today. Until today. So that's not, it wasn't like that there was a lot of darkness over him when this event took place. No, it came today, just an hour ago. Just over the last couple of hours. So let's see what's going on with him because there's been some chatter from him. Right? Sure enough, Donald Trump's Army Navy coin toss led to so many jokes. Okay, the deadline looms for healthcare subsidies, release of Epstein files. This is it. It's not about the coin toss. Or it could be about that too. You know how he gets. If you make fun of him, could be about that too. But the healthcare, Epstein files, deflection, Venezuela, Mhm. And my computer's stuck because of this CNN. Because CNN. But that's it, guys. That's it. It's the Epstein. It ain't going away. It's not going to go away. Definitely not going away. So the moon, at the time of this, the moon was in transit in that second house. The moon was going over his Chiron. It went over a relationship first. The moon did at a 1448. So a relationship told him about it. And then he had pain about it, sharing pain with the law enforcement agencies. There was a devouring energy all day. But there is going to come a point on the 20th, and he's going to be shaken up. He's going to be shaken up. It's a trip because Sebastian Rogers has a Saturn that's a 2113, and his moon is a 428. And it's about Donald Trump. And the moon is coming back to that dark moon that, of course, goes to the fires and everything that's happening in California. He has a darkness when it comes to Gavin Newsom. That 428 goes to Gavin Newsom and it goes to Canada. But this Saturn, it's about the world health, immigration, colleges. What else could that be? Long travels. 2113, that's a trip that he has that too. I just now noticed that. He's got the shake up 1104 that connects to Katie Proudfoot. He has a 1614 that connects to Sebastian's God's will is being done. There's a connection with him and Sebastian. I don't know why. Don't know how that's going to work itself out eventually. Saturn for Trump is a 25 degree in Pisces. So Saturn is just sitting here in that 8th house. What is the 8th house? It's restricting him with taxes, other people's money, investigations, hidden sex, essays type of stuff. Yeah. So that's where Saturn is going to continuously stay until Saturn moves to this 21 degree. And it's going to be a long time in 2026 before that takes place. So it's not going away. When I say it ain't going away, it's literally not going to go away. This with him is going to stay. It's going to stay. It's not going. He's stuck with it. It's a fate. So let's look at Epstein and see if Epstein is showing up with any of this stuff, any of that stuff that's happening. The lunar nodes are coming down here. 6th house of health with groups. Lunar nodes are at a 13-0. What is the lunar nodes yet? Let's see. 1304. So that's already taken place this morning. Let's look at Epstein. I actually do well looking at Ghislaine's, however you pronounce her name, Ghislaine. I actually have better, it's better looking at her, but it is about him. And this is where I want to show you the connection that the Secret Service and Epstein have. And it's with when they are getting some type of reigniting of a flame with health and with life, with Utah, Massachusetts, what have you, we are going here. this is where the Secret Service is connecting to him here. Jeffrey Epstein, here we go. The lunar nodes are upon him. Lunar nodes are 1304 right now. Yeah. Lunar nodes are 1304. So this is about Epstein. Epstein. Donald Trump and Epstein. And I don't think that there's any way that there can be such a distraction. It's not going to, because it's fated. So we've been here before with a bunch of pictures and groups with Jeffrey. But the lunar nodes, that north node in Pisces, is right here in that third house of communication. So it's not just about communications, but it's also his brother. And we've been here before with the south node right here. Colleges, foreign entities, going to another country, Mercury has already come over Jeffrey's ascendant. Now Mercury is sitting here on his life path. And on the 20th, the things that are going to shake Trump up on the 20th is with Jeffrey Epstein. It is. And I think it's going to have to do with one of Jeffrey Epstein's homes. I think it's going to have to do with one of his homes. And there's a connection there with, I think, Kamala, maybe she may speak out about it or something, But the dark moon at a 2958 is going to hit Massachusetts. And then the 2959 is going to darken the sun for Jeffrey Epstein. And I still don't think the man's dead. Come on, man. I don't think he's gone at all. They had divers in the water a week or so ago at the island. Looking for what? What were they looking for? Treasure? Treasure that he dumped in the ocean? Like, what are they looking for? At Epstein Island? Hold on. Girl, don't tell me that. Epstein Island. Oh, pencil. At the island. Epstein Island. Well, I may have to put something else on there. Let me look at that. Epstein Island. Was it used for the same purposes as the island? More disturbing, never before seen photos from Epstein's estate. Epstein Island's little Jeffs. No. Okay, so there must be going to be more photos that's going to come out, guys. I think that we're going to get a little shaky shake. A little shaky shake, Donald. It's a coming, buddy. I think so. It's going to come on the 20th, it looks like. And with this, you see this 2420? Okay, now let's go back and let's look at that. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. Deflection having. There's a relationship at a 2420, and exactly when this takes place in the 7th house of relationships, there is a relationship that is opposing Epstein in the 7th house of relationships at that moment. There's a relationship. So it could be that when this takes place, there's a relationship that drops some more photos, or there's some type of connection between Epstein and Trump with this. You don't know what they were looking for? Let me see if I can find that. Also, Bill and Hillary didn't show up for the depositions. Let me look. Hold on. Bill and Hillary. Huh. Rethink on this for a second, because look at that. There's a shakeup. There's a shakeup with investigations in groups with Epstein. See what I'm saying? When, just like when Charlie Kirk, when that stuff happened with him, Trump, Elon, Ghislaine, Jeffrey Epstein, they're all showing up. Why? Why? Makes no sense, guys. This ain't making no sense here. You have no clue. You'll learn, Michelle. You just keep staying in here. Ask April. You'll start to get it. You'll get the hang of it. Interesting. What are they looking for on the island? Divers near Epstein Island. Oh, spelled that wrong. That was 3 weeks ago. Spread across the property. Hold on. Remove. Hold on. Let's listen to this.
Vision. You have commitments, people who depend on you to succeed, which is why at Galen College of Nursing, we provide the resources and support you need to help you graduate.
Good morning, everyone. It's Monday morning, August 12th.
Oh my gosh. That's echoing bad. That's echoing bad. Let me see if it does any better with.
And we just sailed over from St. John, and we are approaching Great St. James. And look.
Yeah, it's not me. It's just I think it's the video. So I'm going to mute it. That way we can just read it. Seeing the FBI on the dock. Looks like the FBI agents have arrived. This was 3 weeks ago on Little St. James. They seem to be walking the grounds. Interesting. Okay, so that was 3 weeks ago. That's the main house on the island, snorkels in the water. There's the FBI agents right there. They're probably talking about how we wished we could have been at one of their parties wearing protective armor. What are they doing? Talking to the golfers? They talking to the golfers or something? Interesting. So that was 3 weeks ago. FBI. All right, so you know what I got to do now. I got to pull up the United States chart. Map, I mean. Let's go ahead and put that Brown's University on the map. Right there. Yeah, they're probably reminiscent about the ones they attended. Probably so, wishing it wasn't over. Okay. So in the United States chart, that would be a 26. It's a 26 Taurus. 26 Taurus. Wow, what a conspiracy. 26 Taurus. That's okay. And of course, I'm going to have to put Donald Trump on this map. I haven't worked on it, you know. I got to put Trump and Biden. I want to put Trump, Biden, and Obama on it. That's a 26 Taurus for the United States. The United States has a 22 Taurus and a physician that is a 1 Gemini. So that would be that conjunction, the 6th house, outer wheel, and the physician in the outer wheel. So that would be a, for the 23, and then the physician is a 1. So 23 be right there, right above it. And then the physician is a 61. That's Apollo, that brings enlightenment to the United States with communications. Okay. South of Fall River. And of course, I got to extend it out. I got to extend it all the way out. Okay. Do I have the Epstein Island on here? Where's it? St. James? Shit. Virgin Islands. That's right. Oh, that's where. Well, no wonder Trump wants all the big O. We're cracking down on drugs, guys. We're in the Caribbean Sea. Yeah, okay. Okay, Trump. Okay. So the Virgin Islands, this is going over here, right? Let's look. Little St. James. Right there. The United States, Hygeia in the 9th house, and Leo. Conjuncts Australia and Virgo, connects to Trump. Well, you don't say. You don't say. Does it really? Does it really connect to Trump? Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does, guys. So this, I mean, y'all saw it in action. Like I didn't put that on there right now. You know what I'm saying? So this is the Epstein Island. Epstein. Okay, we got Epstein on there. That's a 7 Virgo. 7 Virgo. Connects to Trump. Jeffrey. Well, that 3, that's where his dark moon is. So he has disordered aggression. This is Virgin Islands right here, guys. Right there. There's the disordered aggression that he has with all this attention and the Virgin Islands. Right there. Jesus, man. Can't make it up. Mars is coming to that. Mars is coming to his sun too. So it's going to make contact before Mars moves into Capricorn. And don't forget, as Mars moves into Capricorn, Mars is going to be coming from this first house into his second house. So it's about to get really intense, about to pick up. Things are about to pick up. Y'all check this out. That's it. It's a 5 Virgo. So between a 5 Virgo and a 25 Libra, 25 Leo. So from the 5 Virgo to a 25 Leo, this is what is connecting to Trump. This is how he is connecting to the United States and is going right here. Not good. Not good for him at all. So what can we, let me look back at that, because the 5 Virgo, hold on, why did I say, yeah. So it would be from here, Trump, when I draw him in, it's going to be from here to that ascendant. It's where he receives information and it hits him on that ascendant, and it's critical. His ascendant is taking us down to the, taking us down through there. That's it. His ascendant. So it's right here. And then he receives information here. And then what else did he have? Let's see. The physician that brings enlightenment about health is a 16. So that's a 150, 66. So that physician is going into Venezuela. That's where his desires are. His desires are going to Venezuela. The physician, enlightenment, everything having to do with health on his life path, that's going to Venezuela. So I can see why. Okay. But that makes a lot of sense. The United States Hygeia. Right there. And see, this connects to Trump. That 25-24, the divine justice with all this attention in the 9th house, another country going far, a lot of things that we learned. This is the court, the house of the courts. The 25-24 is right here in Trump's chart. So he connects to the United States with a lot of problems, a lot of warring and court. Huh. I mean, you can't make it up, man. Yeah, it's sad, Army vet. It's very disheartening. I didn't grow up that way, you know. I didn't grow up wondering if I'm going to get, have to go to school. I mean, I wouldn't want to go to school in today's society. Be like, oh no, not doing it, not doing it. It is sad. It is very sad. Shouldn't have to grow up that way. Shouldn't have to grow up that way at all. Let me look at something else that I'm seeing. There was a relationship with Oklahoma. During that, victim's family breaks silence as Oklahoma teen. This was also taking place yesterday. Pleaded no contest. Yeah, this was also going on yesterday here. The whatever that is, yeah, that was going on yesterday because I see that there's a relationship that's hitting not just it's opposing. Okay, so it was opposing Epstein. The 2420 is opposing Epstein in relationships, but at the same time, it's connecting to Oklahoma. This relationship was yesterday. And so we can see that this was taking place, this news about this boy. Avoids prison time. Avoids prison time. And he essayed. So that's that. I was seeing that too. So I just wanted to see, make sure. You know, Lord, guys, all I can say is today, with Mars being in that critical state again, we're just going to see a lot of critical traveling, a lot of things that are critical today. Could definitely have to do with the courts, planes, travel, pew pew, all kinds of stuff. And Mars, we'll look at it again because this is I feel anxiety with it. I do. It's now at a 20. Okay, so now we've got the relationship with the Secret Service. Now it's happening. Things from the past with the United States. This could be a Homeland Security thing. The moon is reflecting the FBI, Trump. This could be something going on with Homeland Security too. Let's look at it because Mercury is about to, well, let's see. Let's see if we can find it in the news first because it looks like there could be some information that's coming in about Homeland Security here in just a few. Let's see. 2 days ago, nope. 3 hours ago, okay, let's look at that. Rebel Motorcycle Club got really weird message from U.S. Homeland Security. Okay, that could be it. They are breaking the law constantly and using a lot of different artist property that shouldn't be exploited. Have told they receive a really weird message from Homeland Security after their direct complaint. In July, the band issued a cease and desist letter to the federal department after a social media recruitment video was posted that included a clip of the band's version of the traditional folk song, God's Gonna Cut You Down. At the time, they reacted angrily to the use of the song, writing, "It's obvious that you don't respect copyright, artist right, any more than you respect habeas corpus and due process, not to mention the separation of church and state per the U.S. Constitution. For the record, we hereby order DHS government to cease and desist the use of our recording and demand that you immediately pull down your video and, oh, go F yourselves." Oh, well, sure that's going to work out good for you. They expanded on the incident, explaining that they felt needed to speak out because you shouldn't let the government constantly get away with whatever the F they want. Okay. Well, I actually wanted to have a follow-up post about what they wrote to us from the supposed legal side because the administration sent this reply that sounded like an ex-girlfriend. It didn't sound like a legal representative or anything official. It was this really weird message like, don't bother us with your complaints. You got attention and media from just being associated with us, so you should be grateful. And this is the Homeland Legal Department. The next response would have been to say, we'll see you in court then. But platforms like Instagram and Facebook actually removed the post containing the unauthorized song, promptly and acted more professionally than the actual government itself, which is bizarre. Well, is it? I mean, really? I don't know why anybody would expect anything. Levon being added or banned, whatever. What I wanted was far more bands and organizations to know that, like, if you actually get through to the final boss stage, it's just a complete joke. It's just all smoke and mirrors. I knew that in theory, but actually seeing it from the horse's mouth, it was bonkers. I think that this could be it. Unless we're going to see something else. We could be seeing something else, but that was 3 hours ago. 19 hours ago. Let's see if there's any more news. 2 days, 2 days, 2 days. Nope. Nope. Nope, nope, and nope. Okay, so we'll check back. Y'all be checking back. Because Mercury is about to be at their, when it gets to 349, that's Homeland Security. When Mercury gets to that 349, we're going to be seeing something about Homeland Security with the media. And that's going to be in just a few hours. Now, let me show you this. So that 2524 that we were just looking at, that is connected to the United States, that is connected to Trump, and that is also connected to Rhode Island. Right? Saturn is there. By 4 o'clock, that's where Saturn is. Now, it's actually right there now. So, when we go back and we look at this map, this is the United States 2524 that is connected to Trump, that is connected to Rhode Island. Let me go ahead and put that on there too. And Rhode Island, MCIC. Not good, guys. Not good. I think that this is all going, this is political. I think that this is what I said earlier, is political, because that 25-24 with Saturn right here, I mean, can't make it up. Can't make it up. Can't make it up, man. And there's an opposition with the FBI right now. This could be about Cuba with the Secret Service. I don't know. Don't think so. I think it's the Secret Service. I mean, Homeland Security. What is happening here? So that 25-24, let me remind you, United States, 25-24, right here. Limits and obstacles with health, publicity, children, courts for the United States, publicity for Trump, a lot of his problems with the courts and all this attention with the Epstein stuff. That's where we're looking at the Epstein Island. But then the 24-24, when we go back to Rhode Island, you know, because this is his 25-24 that Saturn is making contact with right now, giving him limits and obstacles. Where's Rhode Island? So we have to ask ourselves why. Why is Rhode Island connected to all these problems with the United States, with Trump, and with the Epstein Island? Okay, not good. Not good. Let's look at Jeffrey. Does he have any connections to Rhode Island, guys? Do y'all know? Jeffrey Epstein's Rhode Island ties in focus. Well, maybe so. In 2000, let's see, Rhode Island ties in focus. Magaziner, Newport Super Yacht, and Brown. I feel like I've been here before. Like, I feel like I've seen this before. But, okay, in 2019, Go Local published an exclusive review of thousands of documents relating to convicted sexual predator Jeffrey Epstein, which found close links to Rhode Island's Ira Magaziner. Magaziner is the father of Rhode Island's then General Treasurer and now United States Congressman Seth Magaziner. The senior Magaziner is a close friend and advisor to Bill and Hillary Clinton. Well, girl, we're in the rabbit hole now. What? Maxwell was found guilty and convicted, yada, yada, yada. Magaziner, according to flight records, the senior Magaziner flew on Epstein's plane numerous times. Flight records show that Magaziner flew with the Epstein and Clinton in Africa, China, and Hong Kong. Has close ties to Clinton. So, the plot thickens. The plot thickens. Let's pull up Hillary, because there's something not right here. Because before Saturn hits the, all that Epstein stuff with the 2524, there's an investigation. It's with their public image. So let's pull up Hillary, because now I'm wondering if she has something to do with this, setting something up. Let's pull up Bill. Jesus. Now I'm really in the rabbit hole here. Bill Clinton. Why do I got 4 of him? Why do I got 4? Let's look at Hillary first. With this event that took place that is awful. But I mean, I hate to do it. I hate to look at her, but I've got to. You got to. You got to look at her. It's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Let's see. Let's see if we got her. Y'all. So she is connected to Trump with that 1634. It was devouring communications. She was weighted down with groups, and it's opposing court, opposing all of this. So guess what? Saturn is coming to her here and here. No problem, Hillary. You're going to have limits and obstacles with court and the communications, girl. Saturn is upon her. It's going to make contact with her, even though Saturn is sitting here in the 4th house of home, opposing her values here. Girl. Because, see, there's a reason why this is rising with the FBI. There is a reason why it's rising with the FBI. What is going on? And see, she has a connection with the Secret Service. It's where she gains enlightenment with communications. She has a connection with the Secret Service. Point blank and period. So all of this devouring energy that was happening with her was weighted down with her. And that is her connection to Trump. Connected to Trump. I can, Toy 74, I can do it in my head. I mean, I can do it in my head, but the maps tell the story too. I mean, the map isn't going to lie. The maps tell the story the way that it's connected to Trump and Epstein Island. Wow. Wow and wow. Like the United States. I mean, the United States shines right here. The United States is shining right there for her, but Saturn is about to make contact. Going to connect. Just like Saturn is on Rhode Island, the United States, and Trump right now. Right now. Limits and obstacles. I hate to think that this woman would have anything to do with it at all. But I wouldn't be surprised. I definitely wouldn't be surprised because the Secret Service is showing up pretty big. Pretty big. There's a relationship that is opposing Epstein during this period of time, right there. and the 7th house. Let's pull up Bill. Let's look at Bill. The moon, just so you guys know, the moon at a 1438 in Libra, magnetism was Zeus at a 2605. That Libra moon and the magnetism is all right here in the 11th house of groups. She is reflecting here. The magnetism is here with the law, and it's with groups. It's not just with her, it's with her friend group. And there had just been a reigniting of a flame with information that is hidden. But it ain't hidden because, gosh, shoot. I mean, Secret Services, she's got them in their back pocket. She's got them, I'm telling you. Take it to the bank, man. Let's look at Bill. Well, just a couple of days ago, the wisdom was sitting here with the physician that brings enlightenment about the past. Oh my gosh. What did I say that was? It was a Virgo and a Leo. Yeah. So the Epstein Island, if I map him with it, it's going to be with his son and Apollo, the physician Apollo. But I'm looking. So the moon at a 2542 is going to hit the FBI, and then that moon is going to come back around with a relationship with Clinton, with Bill. Just curious, I recently found you. I'm glad that you found me. Well, I feel like I got to focus on the president for sure. I mean, I've just looked at their charts and I just feel like some of the degrees stick in my head, and degrees in a chart literally matter in the state of matter. Degrees in our chart matter a lot more than astrologers give it credit. And if it didn't, the maps wouldn't work so good. Degrees in our chart matter in a big way. So let me go back over here and look. I don't really see anything. I don't really see anything with Bill. Because it would have to be somewhere up here. The event is rising at a 19, so the event is rising here with the quartz. I still think that we're going to see two people. Has anybody else passed away? "19 minutes ago, person of interest." Okay, so it doesn't say that anybody else has passed away. Bondi Beach, what happened there? Syria. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. What happened? Trump vows retaliation. Of course you do. 3 Americans unalived. And ISIS attack. They always want to blame ISIS, don't they? There's always some kind of radical group that, I just... Okay, so that was early morning Saturday, December 13th. December 13th. What time, though? Early morning hours on the 13th. It's not going to give us a time. Okay. Around 11:45 a.m., released a statement confirming it at 11:45 a.m. Okay, well, that's not Syria time. Was a recent recruit to security forces. So they announced it at 11:45, but they're not going to give us a time that it took place. Okay. Okay. Well, you know, 11:45. We'll have to do Washington, D.C. then. And the 13th. Let's look up Syria. Oh, let's hold on. I think I already did it. In Syria. Syria. Ambush. Oh, I didn't pull them up. Hold on. Or do I? I think I looked at that. Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at Syria, Yemen, and Venezuela because 2 nights ago when I did a live, I was seeing the Secret Service with that. Okay, so let's look at that. Ambush. Syria. Right here. Yeah, it seems like that there's 2 people. It seems like there's 2 people. You go back, hold on. Go back for a second. 'Cause I just saw something. And okay, here it is. Here's Hillary in Syria. So Hillary in Syria connect here through her Jupiter 513 with the warring. This is Hillary, okay? This is Hillary all day, every day. This is her connection with Syria, the 513 right here. Right here. Pluto in Leo, 513. Jupiter in Aries, 513. There's her connection. So supported more aggressive action. Yeah, they definitely made the Syrian crisis worse, especially with children, especially with kids. Call on Syrian leader, take out leader Bashar Assad. Okay, yeah. I can see that. I can definitely see that because that's her connection. That's her connection, guys. It's her connection. No doubt about it. And there she is right there. Again, that all day yesterday, her and Trump were in transit together. Yeah. I think that woman's got some major pull. And yeah, the divine justice right here, that 1454 goes to Trump. It's his Chiron. It says Chiron in Libra. There's a justice here, and it has to do, I think, with her. I definitely think it has to do with her. Let's look. This is how Syria connects to the FBI through their Hygeia with communications in the 11th house of groups. That's the FBI, the Secret Service. Syria has a disordered aggression and darkness when it comes to the Secret Service here. And, you know, the ambush, when they announced it, that 1753 at 11:54, you know, just a second prior, there was a devouring energy with groups, 1752, with Kronos. And there it is. There's a 455. It's with Syria, guys. Okay. Because I wondered who held that 455, and that is Syria. Because there was a lot of attention, right? There's a lot of attention because Vulcanus is throwing out a lot of emotional attention with that 455 degree. And then right after that announcement, during that unaliving at Brown's University, Trans-Pluto had just come to that 455. So major transformation, lots of activity. We are about to go to war. That's what that means. The 455, of course, it's going to come down to the 454, going to come down into the 455, and there's going to be a major transformation in Syria. That's what it is. Lots of warring energy at a 356 in Aries is making its way to the 404 major investigation, a wake-up call about possible drones, strikes. Dang. Uranus at a 2833. When it was announced, Uranus gets shaken up, shakes up their authority, money and groups, their relationships, their partnerships with the United States and money, resources, assets. Whoever made that announcement about the ambush, they hold that 212. Whoever made the announcement holds that 212. Lord. And when the dark moon, guys, when the dark moon comes to that 2940, there's going to be an intensity that's going to be taking place with Syria. Let's look at that. Let's look at that 2940. This is where they receive information from the FBI. From the FBI. Okay. At 2940, there's going to be an intensity. We're going to see it. She's at a 2919 now. I think that's what we're seeing then. Okay. Let's go back to the 20th. Let's go back. Let's look at that. Because look, even on the 20th, we've got 6 days. That 455, there's going to be a major transformation. There's going to be a lot of warring that is going on. Yes, yes, and yes. That's what we're seeing. It's going to oppose Massachusetts. Massachusetts, Syria, that connection that I was seeing. Yeah. Yes. Shit. But let's take it back to the intensity that's going to be taking place. 2940, it's going to be right here. But then I'll tell you what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of disordered aggression with right after this. Yeah, let's go ahead and get it to the 212 because the moon is going to reflect that 212 right there. December 17th, Wednesday, 3 o'clock Nashville time. There it is. There it is. So I think whatever's going to happen is going to begin here. It's going to begin on Wednesday, the 17th. And then by the 20th, we could see mucho warring going on. In Syria. It should start on the 17th. It's going to be very intense, but by this then by 6 p.m. Russia, they're going to have a lot of disordered aggression when it comes to the past investigations with the FBI, things going on in Syria. Yeah. Yep. I can see it. There's some type of connection, though. There's way too much connections going on with these players, with Rhode Island. It's so political. Everything is political. And you just don't know what to believe. You just don't know what to believe at all. So it's going to start here, the 17th. And then by the time we get to the 20th, we could see a war take place. Let's see what it's looking like for Russia right now. Let's see what their Trump pledges, retaliation. Oh, he's declaring war already. He's declaring war already. So he's already declared that. And I hate this. I hate it because I don't trust our government. I don't trust them. Not one bit. And the reason why is I've talked to veterans, some of them without legs, some of them without arms, and I've talked to them and they don't trust them either. And they totally regret being in the military. So I think that there's going to be a lot of aggression with Russia. Russia's going to know. Russia's going to come out with something, I think. I do. I think that Russia's going to come out with something. Let's look at that. '17th. Make sure I saved it. Let's look at Vladimir. Because He is Russia. He is Russia. Let's look at him on the 17th, because that's when his values, the disorder, the dark moon is going to come here. The dark moon is going to sit right here. Going to sit right there, and it's going to oppose him with how he brings in money with Syria. It's going to be a total opposition. Total opposition. And I think that that's where we're going to have problems. Or we could have problems. Because that dark moon is going to sit there for a couple of hours on December 17th, Wednesday night. Right after. Right after. So I'm thinking that Wednesday night, Wednesday, that is when we're going to see some things erupt. If not before then. If not before then. So Saturn is sitting here, limiting him in the way that he creates with war. Mm-mm-mm. Lord, guys. Yep. Mm-mm-mm. The sun is going to shine here. Sun is at a 2618 on the 17th. So the sun is going to shine here. He's going to have a lot of aggression about the warring. He may even let us know a little something, may teach us a little something. Juno is going to come. It's going to be a relationship. Venus is going to come here. You know what I'm saying? Like all this Sag energy, by the time that we get, it's all right here with his values, courts, immigration, long travels, pew pew war, missiles, explosions. Hitting his values. Well, I'll tell you what, shit's about to get real, it looks like. All right, guys, that's about all I've got for today. What and what is about to be going on? Let's look at Syria. Syria is right here. That's a Cancerian energy. Cancerian energy, let's look at that from the United States point of view. Let's go back up to the United States. Well, it's right here. Values with relationships and home. It's where we get money, honey. That's where we get money, honey. So that's where the United States, Venus, Jupiter, equatorial descendant. That's where we are receiving information about home. Oh yeah. But guys, this is the problem. That's the problem. All day today. All day today with Rhode Island, with the United States, and with Trump. That's that Venus. I'm surprised I didn't mark that. Oh, shoot. I'm surprised I haven't marked that. So I'm definitely going to be working on the United States map, guys. 0. So it's a 0. So we're going to go 90. See, it turns into the 270, but that's okay. So we'll wait. We'll wait. Okay, so it's 90 right there. $93. So we receive information. Interesting. That's Syria. That's the money, honey. It's going to go through Tom's River. Love you too, honey. I'm about to get off here too. So it goes through Spain and Portugal, Greece and Turkey, Syria and Afghanistan. So makes sense, don't it? So we've definitely already been in Afghanistan. All right, I'm going to work on this United States map, I think. I hope you guys have a great day. I'm definitely going to keep you guys posted. Y'all keep me posted if you hear anything, you know. And I'm going to end this stream with Sebastian's anthem. Love you guys. Peace out.
Clean like your soul won't be forgotten. We stand strong for you, never give up. Seek justice and truth. Day and night we search. Community gathers, wipe the tears away. Rise up for you, Sebastian strong. Sebastian's army, we march on. Each day comes and goes, hope in our hearts. You're never alone, we'll bring you home. Wish it was a dream, babe. It lingers on, but strength we carry will keep you strong. Rise up for you, Sebastian strong. Sebastian's army, we march on. Each day comes and goes, hope in our hearts. You're never alone, we'll bring you home. Wish it was a dream, hey, it lingers on, but strength we carry will keep you strong. Rise